There's nothing more destructive to your dreams than the fear of trying. While you worry about the possibility of failure, the world moves forward. People dare fail, rise, and conquer. But the real failure isn't in falling, it's in standing still. Have you noticed how every day you lose is an opportunity you'll never get back? It's not the fear of failing that should consume you, it's the fear of never discovering who you truly could have been. One day, inevitably, you'll realize time has passed, and you'll be looking in the mirror, thinking about everything you postponed. Not because you tried and fell, but because you never tried. That regret is like a shadow that grows with every delayed decision, every dream suffocated by fear, time. This silent enemy is unforgiving. It demands payment for every second wasted on excuses, but time can also be your ally if you choose to use it now. The perfect moment you're waiting for doesn't exist, and fear only disappears when you act. While you hesitate, opportunities pass, and the world keeps spinning. The difference between those who succeed and those who remain stagnant lies in one simple choice: act or wait. So ask yourself, if I don't try today, when will I? Because the biggest risk in life isn't falling, it's never jumping. Have you ever asked yourself what truly hurts more, failing or never trying? Failure, yes, can be painful. It leaves marks, scars, sometimes even makes you doubt yourself. But deep down, it's also a teacher. It proves you had the courage to move, to face your limits. Regret, on the other hand, is far more cruel. It doesn't teach, it consumes. It's the weight that grows silently inside you day by day by day, every time you choose fear over action. What if you never find out how far you could have gone? Fear has killed millions of dreams before they even started. It begins small, as an excuse, a hesitation. But over time, these small choices pile up. Every idea you abandon, every step you delay, builds a wall between you and the life you really want to live. You feel it, don't you? That sense that time is slipping away, that you should be doing more, being more, but something is holding you back. Regret doesn't happen all at once. It's a collection of moments when you chose to wait when you should have acted. What if today was the day you decided to break that cycle? Even the brightest minds are not immune. Think of Howard Hughes, a genius, a man who had everything: wealth, fame, power, and undeniable talent for turning dreams into reality. He broke barriers in aviation, revolutionized cinema, and held the world in his hands. But then fear took over. Not the fear of failing, but the fear of failing, but the fear of losing what he had already achieved. And that fear paralyzed him. Gradually, he withdrew from the world, stopped progressing, and watched as opportunities faded away. In the end, Hughes didn't fall because he tried and failed. He fell because he stopped trying. But there's something regret can never take from you: the choice to act now. You don't need perfection. You don't need guarantees. You just need the courage to take the first step. Because time will pass, and what you do today will determine how you feel tomorrow. The choice is before you. What will you do with it? Fear is sneaky. It hides in excuses and justifications that sound reasonable. It's not the right time. What if I fail? Maybe I should wait. But the truth is, fear never comes to protect you. It only wants one thing: to paralyze you. And do you know the good news? It only has that power if you let it. Fear can be defeated the very moment you decide to act, even with it by your side. Because fear doesn't disappear, but you can control it. The key to overcoming fear is understanding that it's not the end, it's the beginning. Fear only shows up when you're about to do something important. When it arises, don't ask, what if it goes wrong? Instead, ask, what can I learn if I try? Because every time you face fear, it loses its strength. It screams before the first step, but falls silent the moment you move forward. Have you noticed how fear works? It's like a glass wall. It seems solid, impenetrable, but shatters the moment you decide to move. Every small action you take, making a call, taking a step towards something new, is like a crack in that glass. Over time, those cracks turn into freedom. Because fear isn't as powerful as it seems. It only controls those who stay still. Here's the most important thing. Fear can be your guide. It points to where you should go. If something scares you, it's probably outside your comfort zone, and that's exactly where your transformation happens. Don't run from fear. Use it. Ask yourself, why does this scare me so much? Often fear is a sign that something has the power to change you, to take you to a new level. Life doesn't come with guarantees. There's no way to know if your next step will lead to success or failure. But here's the secret. You don't need to know. Life doesn't reward those who wait for certainty. It favors those who act, those who dare to try, even when they're afraid of the unknown. And do you know how you win? By trying. Because every attempt, even if it doesn't work out, teaches you something valuable that no one can take away from you. How many times have you hesitated because you thought you weren't ready or needed to be perfect? That fear can hold you back, but it doesn't have to define you. You don't need perfection to start. You just need the willingness to take the first step. And with every step, you gain more confidence, more clarity, more direction. Life doesn't demand guarantees, only movement. Take the example of Walt Disney. Before creating the empire that transformed global entertainment, he was fired from a newspaper for lacking creativity and good ideas. And that wasn't his only setback. His first animation studio went bankrupt. He could have quit right there, but he chose to keep trying. It was his persistence, even after failure, that led him to create characters like Mickey Mouse and to found the Walt Disney Company, one of the greatest legacies of the modern world. Like Walt Disney, you can turn every rejection into a step toward success, as long as you're willing to keep trying. What would have happened if he had stopped? The world would never have experienced the magic he brought. And that's what makes life such a fascinating game. Every attempt is an opportunity to learn and grow. You might fail in a project or decision, but you never lose if you're willing to try again. Failure shows you what to correct. Inertia, on the other hand, teaches you nothing. When something doesn't go as planned, ask yourself, will I keep letting fear hold me back? Or will I use every mistake as a stepping stone to climb higher? That question turns failure into wisdom. If this message resonates with you, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It's not just a gesture, it's a commitment to your own growth journey. Here, you'll find videos that challenge your limits and help you take the next step. Let's turn every attempt into learning and every mistake into strength. Join this community and start building the future you deserve. Inertia is dangerous. It doesn't arrive with fanfare, doesn't make noise, doesn't warn you it's stealing something from you. It settles in slowly while you say, I'll start tomorrow, or just a little longer, and I'll do it. Every day spent standing still is a lost day, a step you'll never take. And what seems like comfort today is actually a prison. The more you delay, the stronger inertia becomes, stealing your time, energy, and dreams. But the good news is that inertia only has power while you're standing still. The moment you make a decision, any decision, it starts to lose its grip. Want to know how to beat it? Start small. It doesn't have to be a giant leap, just a simple habit, a phone call, a note, a task. Every small movement weakens the cycle and gives you back control. Because in movement, you don't just defeat inertia, you discover the energy to keep going. This brings us to a powerful example, Thomas Edison, one of history's greatest inventors. He failed over 1,000 times before creating the electric light bulb. But do you know what he never did? He never stood still. Each attempt, each failure was a step toward success. Edison didn't wait for perfect inspiration or the guarantee that it would work. He acted because he knew that action, even imperfect action, was the way forward. Like Edison, you can turn every small action into fuel for your success. Imagine if he had given up. The world would still be in the dark. Inertia is like an invisible weight that only disappears when you decide to move. And the longer you wait, the heavier it becomes. Have you ever felt that? That sensation of looking back and realizing you could have done more but chose not to act? That feeling isn't a dead end. It's a warning, a call to act now. A small movement today can change everything. Because what's at stake isn't just what you do, but who you're becoming. If you already know your next step, share it in the comments. Write down your decision. It's not just a gesture. It's a commitment to yourself and an inspiration for others. Every idea shared can motivate someone else to break free from inertia too. What will your small step be today to turn your potential into action? When we think of risk, we often imagine something grand, almost impossible to face. But what many don't realize is that the greatest risk lies in taking none at all. Life wasn't made for those who play it safe. Every small bet you make on yourself, whether it's starting a project, trying something new, or even failing, is a step towards something bigger. Because real failure isn't in making mistakes, it's in not trying. And every attempt makes you stronger, more prepared, and closer to what you're striving for. Great examples of success show that small risks have always been the first steps to big achievements. Think of Sarah Blakely, the creator of Spanx. Before becoming a billionaire, she was a fax machine salesperson who decided to invest all her savings in an idea no one believed in, creating shaping underwear. Sarah not only faced rejection, but also spent years working alone, selling her idea and believing in her potential even when no one else did. She took a risk, and the result? She built an empire starting with one small risk. This is what makes small risks so valuable. They teach you to trust the process, learn from mistakes, and keep moving forward even without all the answers. The world doesn't reward those who wait for perfection. It rewards those who act. Every time you take a risk, even if you fail, you learn something new about yourself. And with each lesson, you build a solid foundation for the next step. Because true strength doesn't come from the absence of mistakes, but from the courage to keep going despite them. Taking the next step doesn't have to be something grand. It can be simple but powerful, a decision, a movement, a small leap of faith. Every calculated risk you take opens doors you never imagined, and those doors lead to great rewards. The question isn't if you should take the risk, but when you'll take the first step. Because only by trying will you discover what's truly possible. Life always offers choices, but none are as impactful as the decision to try. The real fear isn't in failing, but in missing the chance to discover what could have been. I only fear never trying is the mindset that separates those who achieve from those who merely dream. It doesn't matter how big the step is or how many mistakes you make along the way. What matters is that you had the courage to take the first step. The greatest failure isn't in making mistakes, but in never giving yourself the chance to find out what you're capable of. Life doesn't wait. And the fear of never trying is the only fear worth confronting. When you look at today, remember this. I only fear never trying. This is the force that moves you, that transforms doubts into courage and dreams into reality. Don't hold on to past failures or future uncertainties, because in the end, what truly matters is that you tried. And trying is the first step to winning.